All humans have to do has to do with going from A to B. Completely different than when I grew up in Arizona with a phone book and a telephone dialing a friend, a family member, someone I know. And instead, humans are choosing to stand on their heads with their tablets, little children, watching YouTube where their dad works and engineers smart cars for them when they get older, self-driving cars, twisting their spine and crushing their neck, watching videos on YouTube about video games and people speaking smart and intelligent and brilliant and genius about light. With the daughter lounging with her legs wide open, with her face all emotional and her fingers tapping on the keyboard, playing a simulation game about life in the world, telling me about what she knows about kids and children and humans and what I need to do. She knows that I need to respect about what she's doing and I need to do as well. A to B. And instead, humans are arguing about a duality they talk about as suffering, and they're taking their time with figuring out, well, the problem I can't solve for, so just let them do whatever they want to do, and then we'll just give them some of those services, and when we get some more money, we'll hand that out too. But for now, just eat some food stamps, get some food with some food stamps, and just make sure your emotion doesn't exceed the limits of A to B. When they're done with those parts, they'll get to the A and B. And then possibly those children and those babies growing up to be adults will have a planet not dead and dying from war and conflict. A to B, A to B. And instead, humans are networking on their device. They're going on their laptop and they're looking on their computer and they're reading about all of what their light says has to do with their intelligence and their brilliance and their genius, and their IQ is helping them with the economics that they're having a disruption about right now with me talking, and they're trying to learn how to make money to feed their families and have a house and have a home and have a future and get rid of the climate change, and all I'm doing is just causing them so much distress, and they can't solve any problems with me talking so much and doing this right now. They call a behavior. Needing some psychology and some psychiatry where they'll give me some medicine to make me calm and relaxed and make me not twitch so much and make me not go, oh my gosh. You all have life so easy with A and B, and you're choosing instead mystery and mind. Manners and etiquette. Equality and no more gender. and mostly laughing at a person like me who grew up in the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s, who didn't understand these businesses now not hiring people like me, who don't have the prestigious degrees they hand out here at the University of Washington, for students who come from all over the world on the planet they call Earth. With all the money they have available from their families who are so rich and famous, so successful, they can walk around with their phone in their hand, not having any problems with awareness, and simply pay attention to the mathematics they use for technology, the language they use to be social on the internet, and at the noodle shop, and at the other Asian shop, and at the other culture store where they sell the clothing and the style for the ethnicity they all share and agree as better than the racist white man who won't renounce they are male. The racist white woman who says you can't have an abortion. The stupid white human they say doesn't have what they say has to do with a color, an identifiable part of their body. They can explain in less words than I can say, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. A to B. And humans refuse to acknowledge what they have available to solve problems with suffering and climate change and duality. Denouncing a description such as A to B is not philosophical, not theoretical, and mathematically inequivalent to their equation that they have with the quantum mathematics to build their computer for infinity and to see pi repeat on a monitor. While their robot vacuums their floor in their house and their car drives by itself with artificial intelligence. To go have an Impossible Burger to calm down after the $150 steak dinner the previous night. After all of their groceries ran out and their delivery wasn't there today, and now they have to use more energy to have more energy to figure out what's wrong with their object in outer space. A to B. A to B. And instead, psi plus delta divided by pi equals negative infinity to infinity square root theta. And a graph and a chart and some statistics and then some data and information to talk about the language and mathematics. Meanwhile, humans die from drugs, humans suffer in war, people sleep outside homeless laughed at by those who have economic privilege. Men sold to the cartel, women sold to the sex traffickers, and the gender neutral just raising their fist to have a part in the stimulation to reward them for their up-to-date thinking and thoughts supported by everyone else who carries their pride flag, yelling out and screaming, "Shut the racist up and kill the racist and end dominance." Marching and marching and chanting and protesting together as activists with not a care in the world about A to B within their world, involving complexity and no more colonial system with processes overtaking their homelands where they have their people and their tribes starving. I remember sitting with my father in Tempe, Arizona when I was little, doing what was described back then as people watching. He was drinking a coffee at the coffee plantation. And I was completely confused every time we'd go there and sit, but completely relaxed and calm. Nobody bothered us. We weren't bothering anyone else. And what I was missing about the world, I could never understand without any resources available. The same child on the tablet could order in 5 minutes instead of doing what the other baby did with the cheeseburgers and the huge bill the parent received after they completed their cheese burglar decision. Students and people and humans can now go to libraries at a college and not be confused and disoriented and not sure if they're even allowed there, alongside those geniuses and brilliant, intelligent intellectuals. Go up a floor, down a floor, over there, and then back down and solve what wasn't solvable 30 and 40 years ago in less time than it takes now to order Grubhub and receive a DoorDash.